Hi everyone. Today I would like to share with you how to make your own set of resurrection eggs. It's been a long-standing tradition at Love of Christ to share the story of Holy Week through the use of resurrection eggs. Sometimes it's easy to forget the events that occurred between Palm Sunday and Easter. And so I found that this has been a good way for the kids to remember some of the events that occurred between those times. And this year, more than ever, it's going to be important to remember those things because we're not able to be together in person. So, and if you're a grandparent and are connecting with grandkids through FaceTime or Skype, this might be a nice thing to share with them as well. If you have preschoolers and 12 eggs seems to be too many, keep egg number 1 and egg number 12 and then narrow down to 4 more eggs what part of the story you think your preschooler might be able to relate to. If you don't have all of the items at your house, get creative. This is a time of getting creative and thinking outside the box right now. So have your kids do some drawing, create a symbol with Play-Doh or clay or pipe cleaners. So here we go. We finished a dozen eggs at our house, so I had an egg carton and your kids can decorate it. If you don't have an egg carton handy, just grab a basket. Those can hold your eggs as well. And inside, I have 12 plastic Easter eggs, which I have numbered from 1 to 12. All right, let's get started. So egg number 1. In my egg, I have placed a leaf that I created, and it also has a donkey. That could be your symbol as well. I placed a leaf inside to represent the palm branches that the people of Jerusalem waved and spread on the road as they welcomed Jesus as he entered Jerusalem on the donkey. Egg number 2. Oops. Egg number 2, I placed 3 shiny dimes. These coins represent the 30 pieces of silver that Judas, one of Jesus' disciples, received to betray or to hand over Jesus to the chief priests. Egg number 3. Inside egg number 3, I placed an oyster cracker. If you don't have oyster crackers, you could cut a little piece of bread or another kind of cracker to put inside, or you might consider drawing a picture of a wine goblet like we use for communion. These things represent the Last Supper that Jesus had with his disciples. He broke a loaf of bread and said, "Take, eat, this is my body." And he took a cup of wine and gave thanks, saying, "This is my blood, which is poured out for the forgiveness of sins." And this is why we take communion every week. Egg number 4. You could place a small flower inside or draw a picture of praying hands. After Jesus and his disciples finished their Last Supper together, Jesus took them and they went to the Garden of Gethsemane. And there Jesus prayed. And he asked his disciples to wait for him. But every time he came back to them, he found them asleep. Jesus prayed 3 times, and every single time he came back to the disciples, they were sleeping. Egg number 5. In this egg, you could place a piece of string or yarn. I have a piece of leather. It was in that garden that Judas betrayed Jesus with a kiss, and he was tied up and arrested. Egg number 6. There are some different things that you could place in your egg. I have a rose bush at my house, and so I cut a piece off, and it has really sharp, big thorns on it. You could also cut out or draw a crown of thorns, and then I have placed inside also a purple cloth. Jesus was brought before Pilate, who asked him if he was the king of the Jews. Jesus made no reply, and the crowd shouted, "Crucify him!" The soldiers placed a crown of thorns on his head and draped him in purple. And often we've talked about how awful and painful that would have been for Jesus. Egg number 7. Inside this egg, you could place 3 nails, or you could place a cross. The cross that I found is 3 crosses, because when Jesus was nailed to the cross, there were 2 thieves who were also on crosses on either side of him. What an awful time this would have been for Jesus. Egg number 8. Inside this egg, you could place a piece of a sponge or a cotton ball. And I've always liked to put some vinegar on a sponge or a cotton ball, because when you open it up, it's a sensory experience of smell, and to help tie in with the story. From noon until 3 in the afternoon, darkness came over the whole land. Jesus was suffering, and someone offered him a sponge soaked with sour wine. And Jesus took his last breath and died on the cross. Egg number 9. I've put in a small strip of white cloth. Jesus was taken down from the cross. His body was wrapped in a clean linen cloth and placed in a tomb. Egg number 10. Egg number 10 contains a small rock. After Jesus was placed in the tomb, a large stone was rolled in front of the door to the tomb, because the authorities were concerned that someone would come and try and take Jesus' body. Egg number 11. Inside this egg, I placed some whole cloves. They smell really good. If you don't have cloves at your house, you might consider putting some cinnamon or some nutmeg inside to smell when you open this egg. On the 3rd day, Mary Magdalene and the other Mary went to the tomb to put spices on Jesus' body. The 2 women were worried about how they would roll away the large stone that had been placed in front of the door. But when they arrived, the stone had already been rolled back. As they entered the tomb, a young man dressed in white was sitting there, and they were so scared. He said to them, "Do not be afraid. You are looking for Jesus of Nazareth, who was crucified. He has been raised from the dead. He's not here. The tomb is empty. Go and tell your disciples." And that's the good news. He is risen. He is risen indeed. So I hope that you will take some time and create your own set of resurrection eggs, and one of the best ways to do it, I think, is to go through the eggs and open it up, look at the symbol, and see if those around you can remember what the symbols stand for as part of our resurrection story. So I miss you all and hope to see you soon. Thank you.